Okay, let's jump right in. We're looking at an incredibly common home annoyance that, well, it might actually be a hidden disaster waiting to happen right inside your walls. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're taking a closer look at a plumbing phenomenon that affects countless homes. And honestly, it often goes completely misunderstood until it's way too late. So, does your house ever go bang in the middle of the night when a faucet or an appliance turns off? If you've ever been startled by this sudden, violent thud in your plumbing, you, my friend, are experiencing something called a water hammer. It's super jarring, right? But trust me, it's not just some spooky house noise. Here's what we're getting into today. We'll cover 1. What a water hammer actually is. 2. The science behind that shockwave. 3. Spotting the warning signs. 4. Practical steps to fix it. And 5. Knowing exactly when to call a pro. Let's do it. Section 1. What is water hammer? The startling noise in your pipes. All right, so a water hammer is exactly what it sounds like. It's that sudden knock, bang, or thud that echoes through a home's plumbing system. The absolutely crucial trigger here is abruptness. It happens when a fixture, like a toilet fill valve, your washing machine, or the dishwasher, shuts off its water intake instantly. That sudden halt in the flow of water, that is exactly where the trouble begins. Moving to Section 2, the science of the shockwave, what's really happening inside the walls. Now, let's clear something up right away. Forget the old myth that you have trapped air causing a ruckus inside your walls. The factual core problem is a rapid change in water velocity. Think of it like a speeding car slamming on the brakes. That's essentially your fast-moving water being forced to decelerate almost instantly. And because water doesn't compress easily, that sudden stop sends a literal tidal wave of pressure echoing backward through your pipes. It creates a shock wave that travels through the plumbing like a high-speed pressure pulse. All that kinetic energy is desperately looking for somewhere, anywhere, to release. So what turns a mild little thump into a major shockwave? Well, common triggers include high water pressure entering the home, fast closing valves, or even just worn-out parts. Your home's layout matters a lot too. Long pipe runs and multi-story layouts, they literally give shifting pressure and flow conditions way more distance to build up some really dangerous momentum. Let's hit Section 3, spotting the warning signs, how to diagnose the problem. You really need to listen for frequent, intense banging near specific fixtures the absolute second they shut off, or maybe a rhythmic, repeating knock in the exact same pipes. You'll often notice the symptoms multiplying when multiple appliances are running and then stop all at once. And look, if you can physically see your pipe drops vibrating, or you spot minor seepage at the fittings, yeah, the situation is escalating from a minor annoyance to a serious hazard. I actually want to pause here for a second, because this is a vital mindset shift for us. A water hammer is structural damage happening to your plumbing in real time. It is not just a quirky house noise. You've got to start viewing it as an active, mechanical threat to your home's infrastructure. Because here is what happens over time. If you leave it untreated, this repetitive shockwave will slowly beat your plumbing network into submission. We're talking about a cascade of really expensive failures, loosened pipe fittings, actual water leaks, worn-down valves, and severe general pipe damage. It is totally a compounding problem. Section 4. Practical steps to fix it. Taking action to protect your home. Okay, so fixing this starts by playing detective to find the exact fixture causing the bang. Try turning things on and off one at a time. From there, you want to work your way up from the easiest behavioral fixes, like just adjusting shutoff valves slowly, to checking and regulating your water pressure, and finally installing hardware like water hammer arrestors. As you can see here, sometimes a simple behavioral fix is all you need. Literally just closing those quarter-turn or fast shutoff valves gradually, rather than snapping them shut, can prevent the momentum crash entirely. On the maintenance side, clearing blockages or replacing an old, quick-closing faucet cartridge might smooth the shutoff. And if you do need a hardware upgrade, installing a pressure regulator or slapping on some water hammer arrestors will directly absorb that pressure surge. In a lot of cases, the ultimate cure actually requires a two-pronged attack, reducing the overall inlet pressure of the house at the main, plus adding those arrestors right near the most problematic fixtures. This gives any remaining shockwave a safe, mechanical cushion to absorb into. However, if you've tried the basics, you've regulated your pressure, and that rhythmic knocking is still echoing through your drywall, it is time to pause. Like the slide says, when in doubt, please don't risk a flood. Which brings us to Section 5, when to call a pro, knowing when to bring in reinforcements. Look, call a plumber immediately if the knocking continues after you've adjusted shutoffs, or if you ever see active leaks and water stands around your fittings. Also, if you simply cannot pinpoint which fixture is triggering the surge, don't just guess. Because these pressurization issues affect the entire network, getting early professional attention here is going to prevent catastrophic costs later on. What a professional brings to the table is precision. They have the proper tools to accurately measure your system's water pressure, assess how well your valves are really performing, and most importantly, determine the exact size and optimal placement for water hammer arrestors needed to cure the knocking for good. So listen closely to your house tonight. Ask yourself, is it time to check the health of your home's quote-unquote circulatory system before a minor knock becomes a major flooded disaster? Don't let a simple pressure wave beat up your plumbing. Take action, protect those pipes, and sleep a little sounder without that dreaded bang in the night. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.